Hi, welcome back to the Mistaken Garden. Today is May 17th and I was going to try to take a video yesterday, but it was just downpouring when I was on work. And then today I was trying to hold off until the rain stopped, but as you can tell, it's still raining and it's not going to stop for the next 2 days. So I wanted to make a video to really give you an idea of what these flowers look like in bloom before the rain comes and the wind comes. We are going to start in the courtyard like we do every video. So our irrigation has not been turned on yet. Oh, there's Lucy. She's been coming outside a lot more lately. She's not as scared of everything that makes noise, but she's inside right now because I don't really want her outside in the rain. I put up my hanging baskets. This is one of the ones that I made with some begonias and lobelia. My roses, they have blooms starting on all of them. So my garden kind of goes in two phases: the rhodo and azalea time, and then the rose time. So the roses come out in another couple of weeks, and by that time the rhodos will be done and over with. One thing I like about the rhodos and azaleas is, well, the azaleas, like these ones, not so much, but the big rhodos, they keep all their leaves all throughout the fall and winter. This is a new addition. This is my Meyer lemon tree. One of my friends in Victoria has massive lemons on his. He keeps them outside all year round and he wraps them up with Christmas lights and burlap. So I'm probably just going to put this in my greenhouse come winter time. And this is my angel trumpet. You can see how big of a stalk it had this year. This also came from my friend Colin down in Victoria. This rose has lots of new growth, but no buds yet. My tree lilies are doing all right. They're about 3 feet tall so far. This came back this year. That's not the right tag. This is some type of carnation or something that I dug up from the yard a few years ago. Planted a dahlia tuber there. I planted one over there too. A couple of years ago I planted them and they had really, really bad earwig problems. So I vowed to myself I would never do it again. But here we are. I've done it again. So hopefully this year I can control the earwigs a little bit better. Aren't these amazing? They look almost like peonies. They're just massive. This is about the 3rd or 4th week now they've been in bloom. Okay, so let's start going around the yard here. My still bee is doing super well. I actually divided it up a little bit this year and gave a couple friends some plants from it. I have a dahlia back here that has come up. So anywhere where you see marigolds, that's where I have a dahlia planted this year. This is the first time this rhodo has bloomed since we cut it back with our chainsaw in 2021. But it's just spectacular. It doesn't have a scent, but the flowers are beautiful. GM. These are some poppies. Oriental poppies. They were $1.25 last year at the garden center. I do have a tag. Here it is. Oriental poppy. And is grown on Vancouver Island. May to June. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's May 17th right now. This rhodo has already flowered. Now I have to go and deadhead it all off. How tall this is. This is at my shoulder. Allium. Then I have a really unique rhodo back here. Check out those flowers. Very nice, tropical looking. My columbine came back this year. It's been hammered by the rain, so it doesn't look too nice right now. This is one of my, I think it might be a poppy. I have a couple of them throughout my garden. I'm not really too sure though. And here's my first set of big rhodos that I have growing. These were actually all the way down to about here when we moved in. They were covering the grass, they were so big. So we just trimmed them up to make them more like a tree. And we're gonna have to trim them again this year. Just so they have a little bit more shape to them. They're a little bit leggy all over the place right now. The flowers are huge on it. It's really hard to get a grasp on the photo or the video how big they actually are. See all the water coming out of them? Oh gosh. But they will last in the rain. It's the smaller, tinier azaleas that are gonna get ruined by it. Look at all the flowers on this section. There's so many flowers, the branches are actually squishing them. So these, I think, are poppies. I could be wrong. If you know, let me know in the comment section down below. This is my tree peony. However, it's growing from the ground, not really from the stalk. So I don't know about that. There's a dahlia back there, which will be nice to fill that section. Tree lilies. That one at the back is about 4 foot tall right now. This is one of my fragrant azaleas. Now, it's a little floopy because of the water on the flowers right now. Normally it's more upright, but it's best just to leave it, because if I shake it, you can tell I did a little bit. Some of the flowers come off. So I just thought I'd leave it for now. See what happens the next couple of days. But yeah, I wish you could smell it to the camera. It's so fragrant. There's no perfume out there that smells like this. I wish I could just bottle it up somehow. And above it there, that's my honey locust tree. We cut it back quite heavily last year because the branches and the limbs were breaking off on it. So as you can tell, Brendan cut it in a few places. And all of these small twigs are all new growth. So it looks like this one's gonna survive being heavily cut down versus the one that was on the other side of the yard, because we had to cut that one down too, but it did not come back. So we just ended up cutting down the whole tree. My cherry tree looks good. See, it has fruit developing on it. I still have to put up my espalier wire across here to hold the weight of the branches there. That's my peach tree as well, so it's gonna be a part of the espalier. This is another one of my $1.50 or $1.99 poppies that I bought last year. There we go. And this is a fragrant azalea. This one actually does have a name. Let me see if I can get it. That is what it's called. ARS, American Rhodo Society. So this one was propagated in 2019 from Abbotsford, BC. So this has a ton of flower heads on it. There's probably about 15 of them down there. Quite a bit. These irises are about to open. I think these ones are a purple and yellow one, but you can only really see the yellow so far. More poppies. Look at the size. Once again, you know, from the local garden center. It looks like it's white, but this poppy's actually a red poppy. My tiny rhodo down there that's being covered by this foxglove, or at least I think it's foxglove. I absolutely love them. I know they're poisonous. Some people lose their mind over them, but I quite enjoy them. If this is indeed a foxglove, I will dig it up and transplant it because it's currently covering one of my really nice species rhodo behind it. My roses are doing super well. Those are some foxglove I transplanted back there, another poppy. My roses are doing super well this year because I haven't had any deer come into my yard to eat them yet. Normally I have to fence off the area where my roses are, but I haven't had to do that yet. This is one of my roses that I featured in a video last year. I dug it up from someone's yard and transplanted it in my yard. This whole section here was bare when we moved in, and I've moved a lot of plants around in the yard, including this rhodo, and same with this one. And it's nicely filled out. This is an azalea, and it is so fragrant that when you're walking by, this is the road right here, when you're walking by, you can actually smell that. This side I still have to finish weeding and putting down some compost and mulch. But this rhodo has been in bloom for, oh gosh, probably about a month now. This is what my compost comes in, these white bags. It's just aged horse manure from down the road. So this tree here was a tree that I dug up from someone's yard. It was a camellia tree, and I heavily cut it back. Actually, it's been about 2 years now. It's been planted, it's pretty heavily rooted now, but there's just absolutely nothing coming out on the branches. Like, there's no buds, there's nothing. and I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing it without anything on it. So I might just cut that down this weekend and, I don't know, maybe put in a lilac tree or something. But yeah, this section over here is just kind of left to do its own thing. Oh, the beautiful forget-me-nots. They self-seed, so they just go everywhere. But I'm trying to keep them on this side of the yard. That way they can be a little bit maintained. This one has tons of buds on it. This one has bloomed first for whatever reason. This one here is beautiful. There's lots of bees on it. I don't know if you can see that bee. Oh, I don't know where he went to. I'm not really too sure what these are called. I know a YouTuber that I follow online. She lives in Campbell River, which is about 2 hours from me. She uses these in her floral bouquets. Oh, there we go. Those are opening. Hopefully you can see that. My camera has so much water on it right now that it's not really focusing on much. This rhodo we cut back 2021 to just be, you know, a stump pretty much. And it actually flowered this year. So that's fantastic news. First time it's flowered for us. Very dainty, very frilly looking rhodo. I hope to have it kind of fill this space a little bit. My dogwood tree. It only really gets flowers like at the top there. And it only faces, the flowers only face the other way, unfortunately. So you can see it from the house, but elsewhere in the yard you can't see it. And as you can tell, this section also still has to be weeded. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see the flowers. They stay on the tree pretty well even when it's raining. Okay, let's go to the backyard and you can see what's happening in the veggie garden. I haven't really planted a whole lot back there. I was waiting until this weekend to do it. If you haven't seen my last video, you'll notice that this fence and arbor are new. I put this all in about a month ago. Check out this anemone that I started. Isn't that cool? There's some sweet peas in here too, but I don't know. I don't really have much expectations for them. So back here I have this rose that I'm starting to train up this trellis. This is Port Sunlight, David Austin, as well as some foxglove. Raspberries are doing well. I keep them in a pot because I don't want them spreading. And I have two types of blueberries. This is a pink lemonade that I got from a friend in Arrington. And then this is one that I got from my aunt on the Lower Mainland in Vancouver. So this is gonna have blueberries on it this year. This whole row, I'm gonna be planting sunflowers and corn in it this year. sweet peas are doing well. I have to come out here every day and kind of push them up and through the twine. This is actually the sunniest area in our yard. The sun goes up about here and then it goes down there. So this area definitely gets the most sun. This is my regular garlic. I have a whole bunch in here. And then over here, I have my elephant garlic, which is doing well. I don't have anything yet in my white vegetable boxes yet, but I have planted my onions in those two black grow bags. And I still have some stuff to hang up on my plant hanger there. Show you the backyard. I've been working quite a bit back here, keeping the debris off the ground in the hopes that I can grow more grass back here. And it actually seems like it's working. I think in the next week or two, I might actually have to have Brendan come back here and cut the grass because it is coming in, which is really nice. My rhodo forest. You know, like a lot of my other rhodos in my yard, you can't really see how big they really are on video, but like these are about 20 feet tall, and they get hardly any sun at all, and they just thrive. It's dense. I need to come in here, I don't know when, but you can see how condensed it is, you know. I want to come in here, trim up some of these plants so they're more like a tree form, kind of like that one bed that I have in the front there that's currently blooming. I just want to make it neater, you know. Right now it's just a hot mess of branches that don't even have anything on it. Yeah, so you can see here how much the grass and moss have come in. It definitely makes a difference. I think I took about like 13 or 14 wheelbarrows of debris off the ground here a few weeks back, just because look at the size of these trees, right? All the cedar droppings, the pine cones, there's a lot of debris that comes on the ground here. So anyways, it's nice to see some progress. This is a rhodo. Ooh, here comes the wind. A rhodo that I dug up from a breeder propagator a couple years ago in Parksville. He was selling his house, so he had to get rid of a lot of his rhodos. So because the people that bought the place didn't want to have them all in pots in his backyard. So this one actually was in a pot, actually, that's right. This one was in a pot. I took it out of the pot and put it in my car. But these other ones that I have over here, oh my God, look at this lily of the valley. Some people actually pay to have this in their garden. It blows my mind. I just pull it out and I throw it out. It spreads like crazy. So this one here, this one was in the ground, and apparently it blooms once it reaches 25. This year would be the 25th birthday for it, and it has not bloomed. So obviously the old guy miscalculated, or I'm just not doing what I need to do to make it bloom. Same with that one. That was another one that I dug up from that guy's yard. And you can see my trilliums. They are now dead. There's a couple back there. So they start off as white and they turn to purple as they age. This rhodo has had a really hard time ever since we moved here. So look at what is above. Okay, just massive trees, so it gets no sunlight at all. But look at the amount of bees that are on it. Like, there's just tons everywhere. Every time I move the camera close to the bees, they go to a different spot. But anyways, this rhodo I've really had to trim back. I've heavily fertilized it, and finally this year it has a bloom pretty much on every single leaf branch, which is unreal. Because like I said, there's no light. You know, we have, you know, the sun, which goes right here, which is behind the garage, all the way behind the trees, and then that's the house. So yeah, it gets no sun, and it's thriving this year, which is fantastic. These are just some plants that I have some irises in. I have a lot of iris in my yard, so I'm trying to put them in pots along the house to see if they'll bloom even in the shade. These are my lucifer plants. They mostly just get leaves. They don't really flower just because there's no sun here. But at least it fills the void with some greenery. I brought them into the greenhouse over the winter just so that they could have a little bit of a head start this year. These are 3 years old. You can tell I bought them from Home Depot for 20 bucks. And we're gonna see how they perform. Let's see here. Well, there actually is one strawberry. That's exciting. You know, if they don't perform, into the compost they go, and I'll buy new ones. This is just a basket that I put together with some of my fuchsias and sweet peas that I had in my greenhouse. This rhodo's done. This is the first one to bloom every year, and now it gets this beautiful red tipped leaf on it, and I have to come in now, probably next weekend. I'll have to come in and just deadhead these. Super important to do. I've made lots of videos on it. It's best to deadhead your rhodos. That way they have lots of room to grow new leaves. So hopefully you can see that on the camera there. Here's another section here, right? Oh, here comes the wind. Just snap it off. There you go. Nice and clean once it's all done. So here's my greenhouse. I'm not going to show you everything in my greenhouse, but I'll give you a little bit of a glimpse. I have lots of veggie starters. I'm going to post them up on Marketplace to sell, just because I have so many of them. But yeah. Over here, oh, I should show you these. Look how stunning these are. These are also anemones that I started. They actually came from Costco. This is my red rhodo hedge, which I'm sure you've seen on my channel before. Next couple of days, they'll start to open up. You can see some of them are already starting to open up there. And my apple tree was heavily cut back, and I do have some blooms, so I will still have some apples this year. Okay, well, hopefully you enjoyed that video. I've been trying to take a video every couple of weeks of my garden for the past couple of years through the growing season. We live in a very damp area. We're in central Vancouver Island in the forest, as you can tell, and I have a railroad track right behind me here that's not being used anymore. So everything is kind of kept wild on that side, and so we're not able to cut down any of the trees to get more sunlight in our property, but that's really fine. Rhodos and azaleas do super well here, and I quite like them, and I love the fact that they stay green all year round. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below and let me know where you're watching from. I love to know where viewers like you are watching from. You know, I watch YouTubers from all around the world, and it's so intriguing to see all the different plants. Anyways, it's really starting to rain here, so I better let you guys go. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.